Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Bharate Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavati Me Sada. Right, we're back again. New territory to cover today. We'll do lesson 23. You can open our books to page 105. Here are two topics: the formation of the feminine, and the other topic is interrogative and relative pronouns are going to get introduced for the first time. As we think about formation of the feminine, remember, like when we had some of the stem endings, we were only given the masculine and the neuter. And in some cases with one stem, we were told masculine and feminine were identical. So what we will keep our ear out here for is what goes on in terms of nouns, adjectives, what is the ending letter, what are some special cases, and how many stems do they have? And we've got rules for all of that. So number 108 says the general rules for the formation of the feminine of adjectives ending in vowels should be carefully revised. See lesson 12, and we're going to revise it here right now. So, and there's no surprise here. We know all this and nothing too strange. Adjectives forming their feminine in ah are declined like lata. That makes sense. Ah ending, feminine, decline it like lata. No problem. Adjectives forming their feminine in e, kara, are declined like nadi. Again, very intuitive. No big deal there. The present participle atmanepada and the present participle passive, and they are giving the grammatical term for the meta language there, shanach. That's a Panini meta language kind of term, but it just means the present participle passive that ends in mana, and the perfect participle passive ta. That there's some it letters there in the meta language, but this is basically saying ta ending for perfect participles passive. The comparative in tara and the superlative in tama and ishta form their feminine in ah. Well, no surprises there. Everything we just rattled off are words ending in ah. Mana, ta, tara, tama, ishta, all ending in we had no feminine ending nouns, but we had feminine ending nouns. So we just use the form for when they end in No surprise. And so that's what we did for adjectives. And so all the examples there are just showing the first word is an ending adjective. And then you see it, they put on the end of it. And that's just what we see throughout there. Instead of there's an on the end. No surprise. That's easy stuff. Moving on. Number 109. Some nouns and adjectives ending in follow special rules in forming of the feminine. And so, sure, special rules come in all the time. So this first one, ika, okay, ending in ka, form their feminine in ika. So if this word balaka, right, that's a noun or adjective ending in ka, it's telling us that we're going to form it in ika, what they had just told us. So balika, balika. And another one, gayaka, it ends in ka, so form it in ika. So we have gayika, gayika. So, okay, we'll take that. The next one, the following adjectives ending in form their feminine in e, long e. So look at gaura, that ends in and so we're expecting it now to end in long e. So gauri, similar across the board. Each ra changes to ri, then the na ending changing to ni, sha to she, and sha to she again. So they're just giving us these rules. Number 3, a noun ending in a and denoting a class or species form their feminine in e. And so what do we mean by class or species? What these words mean across the board is lion, tiger, deer, swan, peacock. So these are, classes of animals or species of animals. So simha, lion, in order to form its feminine, lioness, is simhi. So the changes to e kata. The next one, vragra, changes to vragri, that's tiger or tigress, etc. And these words are in our vocab coming up. But just some of these denoting these class or species will not form there in the ah like we would think an ending word would. We'd form it in the ah. No, this one's going to be e kata. Now there's some exceptions to these. So all these along the bottom, you see them ending in ah. So these are the feminine form of cuckoo, horse, goat, mouse, crane, sparrow. These words are going to be in our vocab, but we can't just assume that animals ending in a form their feminine in e, because some of them don't. Some of them will form their feminine in a also. I want to point out a typo on the last word of that line. That's chataka, that ta is a closed circle for the aspirate ta. It's non-aspirate, so that should be open. Chataka, and you'll see that in our vocabulary. Then number 4, adjectives ending with the suffix maya form their feminine in e kata. So we notice that word ends in maya, mrinmaya, changes to mrinmayi. And this next one, interesting one, chinmaya, changes to chinmayi. But just pointing out, like the name Swami Chinmayananda, Chinmaya means made of chit, made of consciousness. Swami Chinmayananda. Okay, number 110. Adjectives ending in consonants and having one stem only have the same form both in masculine and in the feminine. And that was back on page 71 when we first got introduced to consonant ending nouns. We only learned one stem the first go round, and we were told that the masculine and the feminine were identical. So that's the case for nouns with one stem that end in a consonant. So they gave some examples here, but no difference between how the masculine versus the feminine is formed. Turning the page to 106, number 111, adjectives ending in consonants having two stems form their feminine as follows. This is the first time we're going to see how do we form a feminine consonant ending noun that has two stems. So here are the words. Number 1, adjectives ending in vut and mut, perfect participles active that end in tavat, by the way, that is meta language for tavat, and adjectives of quantity like kiat, that means how much, add an e to their weak stem. So we see the example dimat, and we have dimati. Similar for the next one, danavat, danavati, etc. Okay. Number 2, present participles actives in ut. And we've been given the meta language here. Shatra. A lot of times in these meta language, you throw away the first letter and the last letter and you're left with the middle. And so you see that that is talking about ut because those are the two middle letters. So it just means, present present participle actives ending in ut. Of the first 4 and 10th conjugations, we'll add E to their strong stem. Those of the 6th conjugation, add the E either to the strong or the weak stem. This is the same as we saw back when we learned the rule before. So let's take a look. That first one, nayat, that's a first conjugation, masculine noun, but first conjugation. And so it is going to add an E to the strong stem. So from nayat, they have nayati. E was added at the end. The next one, an ut ending, neuter noun. That one's neuter is 4th conjugation. And so we add the E at the end. Then the next one's 10th conjugation, chorayat. Add the E on the end. Now in 6, neuter, it's optional to add it to either the strong or the weak stem. So if we have vishat, we see the indication of the strong stem with the nakara in there, vishanti, or we just have vishati. Those are our options for 6 conjugation neuter dual words. All right, so just a bunch of rules here, it's just how it goes sometimes. Number 3, bhavat, the present participle active of bu, will form its feminine in bhavanti. Okay. Bhavat, the honorific pronoun, means your honor, forms its feminine in bhavati. All right, notice the one above has the nakara in it. The one here, the honorific pronoun, does not have the nasal in it. Number 4, adjectives ending in, add E to the strong stem in. So we see the example, done in, ending in, and they will add an E to the strong stem. I'm just showing an example. Number 5, comparatives in ES add E to the weak stem. Here is a typo also, that takara is not aspirate, it is unaspirate, so leave it open, leave the loop open there on the word there. Patiyas, and it ends in ES, so it's telling us we're going to add a long ikara to that weak stem. Now number 12, nouns and adjectives ending in consonants and having 3 stems will form their feminine by adding ikara to their weak stem. So let's look at this table. The first column is the nominative base, so the first one is chakravas, it's a nominative base. The weak stem, first they're showing us in the masculine, was chakrush. And then now for the weak stem for the feminine, we would add ikara there. That's what it's telling us. So the last column there is the feminine weak stem, just adding an E at the end. So that's, similar down the line. First column is the nominative base, and then the weak stem, and then the next one is the feminine weak stem, gets an E kata added to it. And just a can't hurt little quick reminder, the types of nouns and adjectives we know that will end in consonants and have 3 stems are that reduplicated perfect participle, nouns ending in un, and adjectives of direction ending in uch. And those are categories for words with 3 stems. So just laying it out there, a lot of it will be intuitive, and then again there's a lot of special rules introduced, but they follow patterns. There's no much strangeness introduced. A lot of it is that e kata or the nakata, and everything else is like pretty much intuitive. If there's no questions, we'll go on to page 107. Here are interrogative and relative pronouns. So to think, what are interrogative pronouns, if that's not obvious to you? Think of the word interrogate. So if you're going to ask a question like, who did it? So those are like the interrogative pronoun, who. And then the relative pronoun, if you think about the boy who did it. So it's still the word who, but it is talking about the boy who did it, rather than interrogatively asking a question, who. So the declension first of the interrogative pronoun, and then we'll go down to the relative pronoun. Here we're on the interrogative pronoun, kim. It means which or what, or who. Could also mean who. Yeah, you can add that as well. So you get a lot of mileage out of learning the interrogative, because then if you look down below at the relative, you'll see a pattern. So if you look at kaha, cow, k, they all start with ka and end the way they do. If you look down below at yaha, yao, yay, same endings. Accusative up on the interrogative, come, cow, con, and then down at the relative, yum, yow, yon, etc. So they will mirror each other that way. Wherever you see a ka, just replace it with a ya, and you'll have the relative pronoun. So these come up, so they're really good to get familiar with. So I think it would be good to do a lot of reading on these. So, Rez, will you go first, please, and read the masculine table for us?
Sure. Can I ask a question, general question about those interrogative pronouns? Mm-hmm. When you form a sentence, with which part of the sentence do they have to agree? In case,
will you repeat the question? So it kind of broke up and was.
For example, I don't know, something with what day of the week is it? Let's say is the sentence. So I'm not clear about, let's say, the word day. Is it first case or second case? And then which case would the what word the interrogative pronoun will take? I don't know how to form sentences with that.
Okay. I see what you're saying. So let me think that through. Let's see. So we know, like, who did it? That sounds like first case. Who did it? Let's, what would be an example of second case when it's a question like that? And
done by someone, yeah, or who, by which thing.
Like, so, by which route did you take? Maybe that's third case.
I guess just by listening to how you frame it, maybe it's if you frame the answer. So who did it? He did it. And so who is the same case as he?
Yeah.
Who did it? Answer? He did it.
I know.
By which bus did you go? By bus 5, I went. Interrogative versus relative. Maybe it'll come a little bit more evident too in the homework. Just kind of come up with that, but yeah, sometimes it's hard to.
I think they add all that later on in the next few lessons I was reading. They do all these who's and whiches and relatives, and probably 2 lessons later on.
Okay, I guess we can delay the answer and I can start reading.
Because I'm confusing you too.
We have a lot of time today, so I'm going to take a break and just talk about your question about sarva came up last week. You know, when would you use singular? When would you use plural? I'm thinking of some examples like all is well, and then it's singular. All are going to the zoo, and it's plural.
Right.
And then my mom showed me a Gita verse that even has all in eighth case, which is very interesting.
All about.
I wanted to,
Like, listen, you all.
oh, here it is. Use it in two places. Oh, all, and let's just look for let me get sarva. We have sarva up here, and we have sarvaha singular up here. And so we see oh, all in the eighth case, and then we have you know, all thou art. And so the English salutation to thee before and behind, salutation to thee on every side, oh, all, eighth case. Thou infinite in power and infinite in prowess, wherefore thou art all. So interesting to even see it in eighth case.
What chapter was it?
This is verse 20, I think, chapter 4. Let me, verse 1140. And I'll go up just, yeah. Chapter 11, verse 40.
Great.
This copy of the Bhagavad Gita happens to be a popular one. Swami Swarupananda is the translator that a lot of people use this for its good translation. And I was going to scan this for it, but then I found it online that there's a link. If anybody's interested in a link to this, I can put that in.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, that's interesting.
I also found that other one where they break it down word by word. I forget his name. Anyway.
Gambhirananda, who does the
No, he's not
also?
He's not Indian. He actually breaks down every word and tells you what grammatical, what the grammar is.
I use two different people's versions of that. Maida Michika has another really good one.
Oh, I bet she does.
Do you know her? Do you know the name?
Yes. Well, isn't he the one you sent the verbs from?
Probably.
Yes. And I bought her books, but they're terribly difficult.
Okay.
But she's amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah. Like I've seen you do, you know, similar prayers and everything, but she just takes every word and talks about like what kind of samasa it is and puts the case and number in it.
Well, that'd be good too. That'd be brilliant.
Okay. I will send.
Because whenever you're not sure, it's great to be able to look up.
Yeah. All right, so we'll try to get examples of all the different cases. That would be good. Who? Okay. So, Erez, will you please read the masculines for us?
Sure. Kaha, kau, ke, kam, kau, kan, kena, kabhyam, kabhyam. And is that kai?
Mm-hmm.
Unclear. Kasmai, kabhyam, kebhyaha. Kasmat, kabhyam, kebhyaha. Kasya, kayoho, kesham, kasmin, kayoho, keshu.
Mm-hmm. Notice there's no eighth case. And you know, these endings are all quite familiar, so you probably are going to be able to pick these up out of the lineup. You know, with this ka, you know, you'll see kim a lot come up, meaning which, and so that's already going to now root in your head that the interrogative starts with the kakata, and then when you see the short words with these endings, I think you'll get them pretty easily.
It's the same as Tud, isn't it?
Say again?
Same as Tud Rupani. They're identical.
Oh.
Pam ta pam. Tena tavyam taihi, etc.
Yes. Good to make that connection. All right. So, Sandra, will you please read the feminine for us?
Ka ke kaha, kam ke kaha, kaya kabyam kabihi, kasyai kabyam kabyaha, kasyaha kabyam kabyaha, kasyaha kayoho kasam, kasyat kayoho kasu.
Okay. And then the neuter will have a little bit of a familiar ring to it. Kim, K, Connie, Kim, K, Connie. And all the rest are exactly like the masculine. Now, let's mix it up. Sandra, why don't you read the masculines for the relative pronoun yud for which
Yaha yao ye, yam yao yan, yena yab yam yahi, tasmai tab yab yam. Sorry. Yasmai. Yeah, sorry, say again.
You said tasmai, so I just said
I know.
yasmai.
It just goes back into my head. Yashyai yab yam yebiha, yasmat yab yebiha, yasya yayohu yesham, Yasmin Yoyoho Yeshu. That's nice, isn't it? Yoyoho.
Yoyoho. Okay, Erez, please read the feminine.
Ya, ye, yaha, yam, ye, yaha, ya, yabhyam, yamihi, yasyai, yabhyam, yamyaha, yabyaha.
Yeah, and the one above is bihi also.
Oh, okay.
Yaha.
Yabihi and yabyaha. Yasyaha, yabhyam, yabyaha, yasyaha, yayoho, yasam. Yes.
And there could be a virama there if you don't have it. You read it properly, but...
Oh, right. There is no... Okay. Yasyam, yayoho, yasu.
Mm-hmm. And then for the neuter, yat ye yani, yat ye yani. Which doesn't exactly mirror the neuter above as nicely as the feminine and masculine mirrored the interrogative pronouns. So we have its own little version. But I guess that matches tut-te tani, but not kim-te kani.
And that kim, is that usually the neutral form that where you see it on in a question?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's the kim you see, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so let's look over the vocabulary just before we get started. The second one has a typo. There should be an e kata inserted. It should be ga yi kaha. It's a short e, so then you draw it like between the ah and the ya. The short e goes in there for ga yi kaha. I guess that's good enough now to get started. Hi, Jyoti. We're on page 108. We're going to read the vocab.
Okay.
Perez, will you please read the, let's see, do we want to go all the way down? Does that make sense? Yeah, read the first column, I guess, all the way down.
Okay. Balika, girl. Gaikaha, singer. Gaika, songstress. Gaura, white. Kishora, adolescent. Taruna, youthful. Sadrisha, like, similar. Tadrisha, such. Kshamin, forbearing. Daksha, competent. Svastha, sound. Indriyam, sense. Pratyudhyamaha, remedy. Bhavanam, house.
Okay.
That swasta, I think, appears as health, as well as, I think they mean like it's swa, you, and star, stand. You know, you're standing in your own self. And I think they take it as healthy as well.
Yeah, and that word sound, there is like an adjective. So like, you know, in sound, mind, and body, sound. So it's not like the noise sound, but that kind of sound. An adjective, not a noun.
He's joking.
And the next one, sense, is a noun. It's an ending neuter noun. And so it's good to bring these up now that we're starting to have consonant ending nouns. The last one, house, is a neuter ending masculine noun. I'm not sure. Just strike that. We'll just have to learn as we go, or look it up somehow. I realize now I'm not sure. I first had it down as masculine, and then I switched it to neuter, and I didn't look it up, so should leave it go.
I can look it up in the book here.
Okay. And now in the next column, here we have masculine and feminine versions of these animals. And Jyoti, will you please read down the second column? Whoops, I'm going to unmute you. Oops, you did. All right.
Vyaghra, tiger. Vyagri, tigress. Harinaha, deer. Harini, hind. Hamsi, female swan. Mayuraha, peacock. Mayuri, peahen. Kokila, cuckoo. Guna,
That's a gakara.
Oh, Gunagrahin, appreciative. Aruja, healthy. Yavat, tavat, while. Oh, okay. Kidrusha, what kind of? Atma Shreyas, Atma Shreyaha, supreme good.
Okay, a couple comments. So, you know, reading down tiger, tigress, right? Male and then female tiger. For me, I didn't know the word hind. That's deer. Doe. Female, if you just happen not to know it. That's another word for doe. Then we have the female swan. Then the next is the pair, the peacock and the peahen. The peahen is the feminine of the peacock. Then a few down for yavet, tavet. Those are used together. So if you see a sentence comes up a lot in Shankara Bhashyam, you see yavet, he's going to be, and you just wait for the tavet, and it goes together. I can't really think of an example sentence, but you'll kind of see when that comes up. And that's it for the columns on that comments on that column. Erez, will you go ahead and read column 3?
Sure. Ajaha, goat. Balakaha, crane. Chatakaha, sparrow. Mrinmaya, earthen. Chinmaya, spiritual. Charmamaya, lethern. English is harder here. Ambhas, ambaha, water. Dehaha, body. And then Punyam, merit. Sudulabha, very hard to obtain. Prayatnaha, effort. Khananam, digging.
Yes. A couple comments. Digging is a noun. It's declined, it's not conjugated. So like the digging of the something, but it's a noun, it's declined, not conjugated. It might seem a little strange of a word. Merit, punyam merit, of course, a very common word. The leathern is, you might just think leather, and I crossed off the N to just think of it as that word means leather. All right.
Last week, did you talk about waters as being singular?
One of the word apaha.
Ah, got it wrong. Okay.
And being plural. Apaha, plural.
Uh-huh. So apaha can be for waters.
Yes.
Right. Where did that come up?
It came up in my conversation in my class when I was trying to understand when could sarva possibly be single, dual, or plural.
Take it as read. That other one I had about not sheep. What was it? One we had last week.
Ashes.
Yes,
Ashes.
that's right. Yes.
In my little example, well, if you have birch ashes mixed with maple ashes, then you have dual ashes. Some words are strange. Okay, Sandra, while you have the floor, can you read the fourth and final column for us?
Jara, old age, rogaha, disease, ahitam, harmful deed, chitra, surprising or strange, ta, which is paritajayati, to menace or threaten, prahri, prahrati, to strike, acharati, to perform, anukula, favourable, kshaha, loss or decline, durataha, far away, apratihata, is that better? Apratihata, unimpaired, and samadipa, samdeep yate, to burn, kirya, to be done.
Karya.
Sorry, kaya, to be done.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah. All right, so a good guide for the homework is about the first 5 of number 2 to give the feminine of the following. So some kind of adjective with the noun, and then you switch the adjective and the noun to be feminine.
I think what they did in this thing was they put the things at the top were all, were they mostly eyes? The Mayas and the Garis and the Tigresses, I think they clumped a lot of the words that went with the I together. You know, like adolescent, youthful, similar, and such all take I, or is it A, one or the other? And then the others that are like it, kidrish, which sounds like sudrish, but it takes obviously an A, does it? You know, if you look on the page before and then look at the vocab, you see that they've put the similar types together.
Yes, they did. And then maybe it's even helpful to write the English words on page 105. If anybody wants that repeated, I could do that. So the exceptions were, kokila, that's cuckoo. Ashwa is horse. Aja is goat. Mushika is mouse. Balaka, crane. And Chataka, sparrow. And those are the exceptions that don't put the E kata there, that they have A kata. And then the ones that do have the E kata are the ones above, Simha, lion. That these words that we had in the story are now easy to remember. Mushika, I can remember from our nice little story with the lion. Simha is one that does change to an E. Vragra, tiger, does change. The next one's deer, which is bakundo. And then hamsa, swan. And the last one is peacock. And they are the groupings that do change to E kata. All right, and then change the voice. You could do like about a third of them, and then we'll do a third in class next week, the ending third probably, and then we'll leave the middle third for the final week. Maybe do a third of the last one, translate the following into English. We'll just do one of them, save a second one for the next week, and we'll do one of them in class next time.
I found that exercise too. I've done it a few times, and each time I make mistakes. I find it a really good exercise just to keep doing it occasionally, just to get those feminine forms in it. And I have a question about Davan Ashwaha. Does that mean the running horses?
I would guess that.
Because the answer in the book would, I think, be wrong to turn that into feminine.
Okay. What did they do?
I think they put Davata without putting the strong stem for the feminine running. So that's why I wondered if I'd translated it correctly. It's just a really good exercise for making the head work.
Yep.
The mind's a bit slow at times, so I need to do things a few times.
All right, I'll see what I get. I'll think about it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I also found this chapter was great, like a summary. It just really opened up for me what the last three, all the STEM work and the different ways of forming feminine. I think it's a very good chapter.
I think it's helpful too, when it's repeated, it doesn't make the beginning time when you learn it seem so bad. Like it seems so all of a sudden way more intuitive now than it did the first time we heard it. More patterns are more obvious.
Yeah.
So maybe in our extra time, I'm trying to think if maybe there's some scales we should do. Anything we should, any verb endings or noun endings or pronouns to get familiar with? Shabdas.
I think even doing that, giving the feminine, it's kind of does your head in, but it's really good.
I would guess not everybody has the Kru Dhatu memorized. So I'm going to see if I can find that fast enough so that we will spend a little time doing that. Put that put in here. Yes.
That's a hard one.
This was an 8th conjugation, so we weren't given it to unfold. We just basically have to memorize this. But if we get these rolling off our tongue sometimes, we can start getting them better memorized. So I want to get a pen. Something happened maybe in the formatting a little bit, so just to bring to attention. We look at the present. Jyoti, will you please read this matrix for us? I'll let you unmute. I'll hands off.
Sorry, I'm kind of lost. I went to some other pages, like I was scrolling to see what, I don't know where we are now.
Okay. On this shared screen, there's a box highlighted here in red, and this is the Kru Dhatu, and I want to introduce it better anyway. So, and you see the page I'm on right now on the screen?
Actually, I don't know why I don't see it. I just see your face. And
Did you do Erez and Sandra see that Kru Dhatu? Do you happen to have access to the student resources file handy, Jyoti?
No, all I have is the Antoine manual.
Okay, turn to page 40. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, and I want to get you there so that you can follow along. So page 40 of Antoine. Let me know when you're there.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so the bottom left is what I'm going to have you read in a minute, but you know what? Instead, I'm going to have you follow along instead of read, but I'm going to, for a reason, I'll describe it in a minute. There's a typo there. In the upper right box, it says the Refa doesn't look like it's there. It should be Cord Maha. And Antoine writes them upside down, and what we want to really get in the practice of is reading the third person first, followed by the second person, so we flip it around. But so I'm just going to reintroduce this. It's the Kru Dhatu. It means to do or to make. It's an 8th conjugation. Just looking at the text I have on the screen, notice that some stems here, we'll have a few different stems. Some are familiar. We have kar, because kru, you do guna on kru, it becomes kar. And some is kur. And then we have the korus become kurs in some of the cases, that relationship between the u and the vakara you'll see in here. So as we're looking through this, notice when we have kar coming up or kur as part of the base. And Erez, why don't you read for us? And now, as you're following along, Jyoti, you're going to hear him read the third person first. So you'll be reading, follow along on your book from bottom up rather than top down. So he's going to read Karomi first. So if you set your eyes on, he'll be reading Karoti first instead of Karomi. All right, so go ahead, Erez, and what we'll be doing is listening to this so that we can kind of burn this in. These are very, very common.
Okay. Karoti, kurutaha, kurvanti, karoshi, kurushtaha, kuruta, karomi, kurvaha, kurmaha.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jyoti, because you now saw that we're doing the bottom up, do you want to read the next one and you would start from the bottom and then just read across?
Okay.
Imperfect.
Akarot, akurutam, akurvan, akaroho, akurutam, akuruta, akaravam, akurva, akurma.
Thank you. All right, and now trying to see if I can tell Jyoti what page the others are on. I don't think I wrote it down. So we're now going to read the imperative and the potential. I can't tell you what page that on is, Jyoti, just listen along. And then so do you see any kind of options you can click on your Zoom picture? Like you might have something called gallery view or speaker view. And I'm wondering if any one of those you could toggle between so
I
that
see
you could
it now. I see
Oh,
it now.
great.
Yeah, I probably because I don't know what happened. Now I can see. I clicked on something that said pop up or something like that in the. Anyway, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. So Sandra, will you please read the imperative for us? Lot.
Karotu, karutam, kurvantu, kuru, kurutam, kuruta, karavani, karavava, karavama.
Mm-hmm. And Erez, will you please read the potential?
Kuyat, kuyatam, kuyaha, kuyaha, kuyatam, kuyata, kuyam, kuyava, kuyama.
Mm-hmm. I can't help but to think that the second person singular imperative is maybe the most common, like do, make, it's as a command and order, and a very common second person singular imperative.
Do you have a great way of remembering them? Because they're quite hard, that lot.
What I had once was a color coded of where the stems are, and that was helpful to me. I will look for that again. I didn't find it quickly when I did it, but to me the pictorial of where the stems are in a color coding was very helpful. I wonder if I could find it fast. Did I put it? No, I probably put it. Probably that's the same one. No. Okay, I'll just take some time and find it because I don't know. Color code Kurodatu. So to me, the picture helps. The same as like to know where the weak stems are, where the strong stems are. If you just get the picture of the box, then go from there.
So are there weak and strong stems in verbs as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And similarly, like this sort of color coding on the Lakara tables always have helped me to get the color coding, just to start to see where the endings are.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, we'll do one more thing before we close. Why not look at our new pronouns again? They're common. let's read these again. Maybe it'll help them go in. Yeah. Jyoti, will you please read the masculine for us? I'm gonna unmute you, and I just did. Huh, I can't unmute you. Okay, you got it.
Okay. Kaha. Okay. Kaha kau ke kam kau kan kena kabhyam ke, is that ke
Kaihi.
kaihi kasmai kabhyam kebhyah kasmat kabhyam kebhyah kasya kayoho kesham kasmin kayoho keshu.
Okay. And the relative pronoun maps the same, but it's a ya instead of a ka. And as will you read the feminine for us?
Sure. Ka, ke, kaha, kam, ke, kaha, kaya, kabhyam, kabhi, kasmai, kabhyam, kabhyaha, kasyaha, kabhyam, kabhyaha, kasyaha, kayoho, kasam, kasyam, kayoho, kasu.
All right. Okay, well, we'll wrap up for today. First, we'll pray. Om Purnamadaः Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. All right, you guys.